Alright, here are the things I like to have on hand for braiding. First, I like to use this waxed thread. You can get it from the Big Blue Trailer. You can also get it from Bit of Britain, or you can get it at the tack store. It's actually Saddle Maker's thread, and it's got a wax on it, and it holds in the braid really tight, and you get a really nice tight braid that the horses have a lot of trouble rubbing out. And I like to use a pair of metal yarn needles. I like to have a clip for holding the mane out of the way, and I like to have a braiding comb for parting the mane. I like to have something to get the mane wet first, and what I like to do is use quick braid, but I like to mix it half with water, because that way it's not so sticky, but it's got just a little bit of a hold to it. And then a pair of scissors, and then for taking the braids out, a seam ripper is very helpful. And then I like to have an apron with pockets, which I have on down here, to put everything in. Okay, let me get my horse and let's braid. Okay, let me show you how I cut my thread to make it be the right length. I get my scissors, get my wax thread. What I do is I make a hoop for however many that I need. So for every hoop I make, it makes one length of thread. So this, since I've already cut some, I'm just going to do these. So this will make 2 lengths of thread that I need, and it makes them come out just the right length. So now I've got these 3 lengths of thread that I'm going to use, and I'll just keep them over my neck. I'm going to show you how to do a nice tight braid. Okay. So let me go on my spiel about spray it with the quick braid and get it nice and wet. This is a half quick braid, half water. So with dressage braids, I recommend not to pull your mane. I recommend to cut your mane. You can take the scissors and you can kind of nip the ends like that so you don't get a banged effect, but if you pull the horse's mane, you're going to wind up with a bunch of furry hair sprouting out all over your braid. So you want to just actually cut your horse's mane. Now if you do have a horse that's got really super thick mane, you can thin it from the underside, and then you won't get all that crazy hair stuff. So what I do is each braid is 4 fingers on my hand. If you got a bigger hand, I don't know what you're going to do about that. So 4 fingers, and then make a really tight part with my comb. And I'll pull this out of the way and twist it, and then put my little handy dandy clip in. Now he's got this little hairy bit right here because he is unclipped. It's winter and he's dirty. I just pulled him out of the pasture. And if this were show season, or if he were being shown in the winter, I would have him clipped, but I could clip it with scissors. So what I want to do is divide this section into 3 equal parts. It's got that one little alfalfa piece that wants to stick up. And when I braid it, I twist it as I'm bringing it into the inside and pulling down at the same time. And what that does is just creates a really nice braid, and the twist kind of helps it to hold. And I'm going to tuck that in because it's driving me crazy, or I'm going to cut it off with some scissors. Just ignore that. Pretend like that piece doesn't exist. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling down and twisting until I get to almost halfway down the braid. So I think I'm almost halfway. And then what I'll do is take a piece of my wax thread, and I get it right in the middle, like I hold it up so the ends look about even. I lay it across the back of the braid like this, and it actually becomes the 2 parts. So what I'm doing is actually braiding it in to the braid, and that makes it really nice and tight and stiff, and then makes the braid hold really tight when you do it into the little bun. So do it all the way down to the end with a little twist every time and a down pull every time. And then when you get to the very end, you are going to tie a knot. And I would like to do okay, so now we're going to make the little bun. The little bun. So what I do is I get my wax thread and I cut them off even at the ends. I will only do a couple because I'm not going to fully braid them. This is just so you can get an idea of how to do it. Okay, so then what I do is I take my yarn needle and I thread it through like this. Ta-da! Alright, and I would like to say something about people say do not wash your horse's mane before a horse show because it makes it hard to braid. But I say do wash it. Don't use conditioner, but that way you'll get rid of, this is an example of a dirty, nasty mane, and you don't want that. You don't want to have these white things going in between the braids. You want it to be nice and clean, and if you use the quick braid mix with water, you're going to get enough of a grip on it that you're not going to have any problems. And if you use a wax thread, it's really going to hold. So to make the cute little dressage bun, basically you're just tying a knot with it. So you make a hoop like this, and then it's just like a knot. So you make a hoop to the right, you come up, you basically just go through the middle and tie a knot like this. So you got a knot, and then you got this little tail here. If you don't have a very long mane, you're not going to have a tail. So what you do with your little tail is you come down through the top with your needle like this, through the braid, out the bottom. It'll pull it down into it like this. You pull your needle off. Then you take the two pieces like this. You tie it really tight like this. It holds it down into a nice little bun. And then you tie it into a square knot like this. This wax thread will stay hidden. Take your scissors, cut off the excess, and there you have, you can do a close-up, you have a very pretty little bun. And what you get when you don't have all this fuzz is this nice little hoop in between that really accentuates your horse's neck. So use your imagination on not this fuzzy horse, and these are how I do little dressage buns. So there you go. You can turn it off. Click.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, here's how you do the little dressage bun. So you take your yarn needle, you put it through about halfway like this. You take this. What you're doing is you're making a knot. So you're making a hoop like this. Can you see the hoop? You come around through it. You're basically just tying a knot out of the mane. So you got a knot, and it makes this pretty little part right here. Then you take this, you take it through the top of the braid, you sew it all the way down, it comes through the bottom. You pull it like that. Then you take it, pull it up like this. And then you tie a square knot. These ends are maybe, I'd like them a little bit longer, but I cut them off even and it made them a little short. Voila, like that, your beautiful little buns. And then you take your scissors and you cut off the excess. And there you have it. Very pretty dressage buns. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, did that show it better? Okay.